Hey, I thought I would go over real quick your review for your final. We are at the end. You guys have worked hard all term, and so I thought I would take a few minutes just to go over. This is just what you'll be practicing today for a review, and what your final will really, it'll look very, very, very similar to this. So I thought this would be super helpful for you. So no surprises, nothing in it that you haven't already practiced lots of times all term, but I just thought I'd go over it with you. So if you look at the first section, it's going to give you 9 sentences. In this case, there are 9. You need to read them all first before you decide what would be the best beginning and then go from there. It's really about picking that first sentence really gets you started. And sometimes I like to pick the first sentence and the last sentence because sometimes they sound similar, but there should be enough of a difference for you to understand which one really makes the best beginning and which one really wraps it up at the end. Then you'll have 3 sentences, probably around 3 sentences, that have underlined nouns in them. You've done this before more than once. You will take anything that's underlined, which is a noun, and you're going to decide on an adjective, a descriptive word that will go with that noun. So you'll just click the cursor in front of the word and you will type in the word that you're going to use to describe puppy. And then you'll put the cursor in front of the word park and you'll describe a word that describes the park. You'll do the same thing for woman, position, company, magician, box, and blanket. Then you come down to 3 sentences that have mistakes. They're either mistakes that they don't make sense or they didn't capitalize something that was supposed to be capitalized. Maybe it needs a punctuation mark at the end. Maybe it needs some commas. I don't know. You're going to make the decision and you're going to edit or you're going to correct it. So you'll start by now, you could retype each sentence if you wanted, or you could just really go and put your cursor in front of things that need to be corrected. So I put the cursor in front of the or behind the T. And if I backspaced up, I'd get rid of that T and I could go ahead and make it a capital T because it is the beginning of a sentence. So that's something I could easily do. You will go through and find all the mistakes. I guarantee there are capitalization errors. There are things that need to have punctuation marks. And ending punctuation. So it even tells you, gives you a hint that there's 21 errors that you're looking for. Then you get down to the next page. Always remember to scroll until you cannot scroll anymore. You'll get down to the next page and you will take these pairs of sentences, there are 4, and using one of these conjunctions, and, or, but, yet, since, however, because, while, so, if, or unless, you will combine the 2 sentences using one of those. Now remember, when you do that, this punctuation mark, that period goes away and becomes a comma. You then add the word you think works, and then the next word doesn't need to be capitalized anymore because it's no longer the beginning of a sentence. So you need to make sure you don't capitalize he once you've combined them. Now, that being said, when you get to this one, the word I will continue to be capitalized because no matter where that lands in a sentence, the word I, when you're referring to yourself, is always capitalized. So don't make that one lowercase. But in the case of you, will no longer be capitalized. Today will no longer be capitalized. Then you get down to the correct verb tense. Read each of them carefully. Decide if it's going to be with an S or without an S. Come down to here, and there's the past tense. This one wants you to actually type. So you'll click the cursor. You'll take the word run. And how would you make this a past tense sentence with the word run? And you'll type your word answer right there. You'll scroll down to the last page, and finally, you're going to write a paragraph. Now, I know that this is already one of the choices you may have picked. So you'll get a chance to go back and make even a better paragraph, or maybe this isn't one of the ones that you selected. But again, this is the topic. You're given the topic. This is not the topic sentence, and you've gotten 3 details already provided for you. So you're going to hook me. Please don't just say PE should be required in school. Child obesity continues to rise. It teaches cooperation and teamwork. It reduces stress and improves self-esteem. That's not a good paragraph. Take these and make them better. Give them flow. Use those transition words. Add a couple of details about child obesity continues to rise. It's a real health issue for children to be overweight, for anyone to be overweight. It's a great way of teaching cooperation and teamwork. Maybe they don't get enough of this experience anymore, especially during a pandemic. So you'll take these three. These are the ones I'm giving you. Don't look up or research or give me facts or figures. Use these details and maybe use an extra sentence to kind of provide a little more detail for them. And then, of course, finally, wrap it up. Tell me again, somehow state that PE should be required in school, but in a much more hookish way. I hope this helps, and I will grade these as soon as they are done so that you can see before you have a second review opportunity. If you made any mistakes, that you'll have a fair idea of how to do better on the next time, and then you'll be fully prepared for the final.